1:47 p.m. I'm going to go to bed during the day because it's so hard to sleep normal. Just sleeping sitting up like this is difficult, let alone being injured and having nonstop subjective internal agitation. But I got a lot of stuff done. It was totally worth it. So now I just need to schedule Angel Flight, which, by the way, you should look into if you need help traveling and cannot afford it.
Sorry? I think that's the hospital. Oh, right here? Yeah. Oh, okay. I think that's it. Yep.
As I'm editing this video, I wanted to add before I start it that I made a big mistake by pushing myself so far with the sleep deprivation, thinking I had the confidence and motivation to do this. I motivated myself with the vlog and the idea of just getting everything done all in one day in order to be able to rest for a couple weeks, only to find out that this trip got canceled. The exertion led to me going into akathisia and was horrendous because of the sleep deprivation. All that just to find out that my trip was canceled anyhow. I should have paced myself more. Anyway, enjoy the video. It's 8:58 a.m. and I have not slept sitting up yet. I'm trying to call hotels to find a place that can hold a medical bed. 4 hotels claimed that they could hold a medical bed, but only one of them is within my price range. It was actually down to the dollar, $1 short, to be able to travel to Mayo Clinic if this specific hotel would have taken the medical bed. Whoever we talked to previously said that they would. And I called today to book the hotel, and all of a sudden they say no, they don't take medical beds, and that somebody was misinformed. Although it's very common for these hotels next to Mayo Clinic to accept people with medical beds. I called Mayo Clinic and told them the situation. They're going to let the staff know so it doesn't happen to anybody else because it's very frustrating. They recommended I reach out to the medical bed rental company to ask them which hotels they have delivered to. But as of right now, that was the only hotel within my price range. So we will see what happens. I'll make some calls. This was the medical bed rental company that I was supposed to reach out to. Apparently my patient advocate does this for a living. I was scheduling a CT IVP pyelogram, which is a fancy word for a X-ray with contrast of my kidneys in multiple positions. I spent over an hour calling multiple hospitals multiple times, talked to different people, and eventually got led back to one person more than once. And she ended up having to try and figure it out. But the whole process took forever. And I called my patient advocate, and I'm like, I was on the phone for hours scheduling a simple radiology exam. And she's like, I know, this is what I do for a living. And she just kind of laughed at me. I'm like, wait, this is just normal for you? And she's like, yeah, this is just how it is. It's okay, it's fine. It's just, at first it's really frustrating, very frustrating. But as you get used to it, it's not as bad, sort of, sometimes. But It's frustrating. I had been taking notes about all my experiences, such as like writing people's names down and the phone numbers of the hospital. So if something goes wrong, I call right back to that person and say, hey, this is what just happened, can you help me out? And that way it speeds up the process of not playing phone tag with hospital to hospital if one place cannot do the scan but another place can. That way they can coordinate. And to even get more complicated, if you get like the nurse's phone number from the doctor that ordered it, not the doctor, but the nurse that works with the doctor, sometimes that nurse will be able to call the hospital and resolve the problem for you. Sometimes. I'm not going to complain, and this is just, little stuff. It's the illness that's the problem. But when you're sick and tired doing this on your own, it just gets frustrating. I'm okay with it right now, to be honest. I would just like to get some normal sleep at the right time. Yeah. I'll try calling again. Hopefully the phone number works this time. Mayo Clinic actually called this place for me while I was on the phone, and it worked just fine. But then I call and it didn't work. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. To try and figure it out, but the whole process took forever. And I called my patient advocate. I'm like, I'm editing my vlog, and all of a sudden, the audio turns me into this secret old man. I was scheduling a CT IVP pyelogram, which is a fancy word for a X-ray. That is one deep voice. The medical company, just my luck, the medical bed company actually answered. I think I might have possibly dialed the wrong number, even though it still said Minnesota. Oops, I'm sleep deprived. Just an accident. The guy was really nice. He gave me a list of hotels that they have delivered to before without any issues. So I'm going to call them and see if they're within my price range, and Lord willing, they will be. If not, try to have my family or I sell some stuff on Facebook Marketplace to pay for the rest of the money that we don't have, hopefully. Somebody might buy my $35 table. I'm allowed to make $68 per month. I need it for this hotel. It's 11:09 a.m. now. I need to go to bed. But I need to call back the hotel to double check that they'll do the medical bed, and then call the medical bed rental company. From there, I have an appointment on the 11th to check my heart to see if there's a medication I can try for the akathisia. And from there, I will have about a week and a half to rest before my travel. I'm so tired. Sleep deprivation is terrible. But I'm going to Mayo Clinic and they may fix this. We will find out. Thankfully, I figured it out. Silly me didn't know that hotels only charge for nights, not days. So even though I will be in a hotel for 3 days, they only charged me for 2. And that was the money that I just could not afford. I'm good to go. I was so convinced that I wasn't going to make it for a while. 1:47 p.m. I'm going to go to bed during the day because it's so hard to sleep normal. Just sleeping sitting up like this is difficult, let alone being injured and having nonstop subjective internal agitation. But I got a lot of stuff done. It was totally worth it. So now I just need to schedule Angel Flight, which, by the way, you should look into if you need help traveling and cannot afford it. They donate pilot flight time to take you to your doctor's appointments. The last flight I had, the surgeon called me a rock star because I flew in on a private little airplane. If you don't need a flight, but would like to donate and thank them for helping people like me, that would be wonderful too. Well, that's it for this video. Be sure to hit like on this video like your life depends on it. Subscribe to my channel if you're new. I make various health videos, or used to, not for a while. I'm making videos sharing my navigation through the medical system in hopes that what I am going through and learning is able to help you go through your situation and navigate the medical system easier as well, including things such as travel, medical bed rental, etc., such as the things I did today, and free flights to medical appointments, which is extremely important. I had no idea that existed, and one day somebody mentioned it to me, and the next thing I know, I'm flying to the mountains to get surgery on my ribcage. Serious. I flew to the mountains on a tiny airplane with a friend that traveled across the country to help me fly out there to get surgery on my ribs. True story.